All right, so this week in reading, we are describing how characters act, and this is day 1. So our learning goal is to tell how a character responds to challenges in a story. I know I've met my goal when I can identify the main character in a story. I can identify the problem in the story, and I can tell how the main character responds to the problem in a story. Some vocabulary to go over. So we have the word respond, that means to react to something. And then the word problem means that it's a challenge. So it can also be called a challenge. Okay, so characters are the people or animals in a story that face a challenge. A challenge is a problem that needs to be solved. Describing how characters respond to challenges will help you get to know them better. So, looking at the picture, so what is a challenge? How does each character respond? Think about why the boy acts that way, or why each boy acts that way. So, if we look at the picture, we see what the challenge is. The challenge is that the toy is broken. So I'm going to write that here. So toy is broken. Okay, and how the characters respond. Well, we see in this one is that the little boy is saying it's broken forever. And then we see the older boy and he's like, I can fix that for you. So we see two characters here reacting different ways. So the little boy, he's like, it's broken forever. So I would say the little boy, he doesn't really respond well. He is responding a little bit dramatic. And that word dramatic just means that some people make it a big deal, a bigger deal than it really is. So that's what the word dramatic means, is they're kind of making it too big of a deal. And then the older boy said, I can fix that for you. So the older boy, he seems more like a problem solver. You may even say that he is more positive, which means you just look at, it means just to look on the bright side. Instead of saying, my gosh, it's broken forever, you could say, oh, I wonder how I can fix this. Okay, so we learned some things about the characters. We learned that the little boy doesn't react well in situations where his toys are broken, and then the older boy, he probably looks at more of the bright side of things. So those are some things that we learned about the two characters in this picture. Okay, so we're going to read this story, A Puppy for Oscar. And I'm going to read it out loud, so as I read it out loud, please follow along. Oscar wanted a puppy more than anything in the world. But his mom kept saying he could not have a dog in their apartment. We do not have a yard, she said, and a dog needs a space to run. Oscar had an idea. There was a city park very close to their apartment. The park was really big. Maybe part of it could be turned into a park for dogs. Then Oscar's puppy would have a place to run. Now Oscar needed to turn his idea into a plan. Oscar worked very hard. He wrote letters to newspapers. He wrote to the mayor about his idea for a dog park. He talked to people about his idea. Then he got many of them to sign their names to a letter saying they wanted a dog park too. It took over a year, but Oscar finally got his dog park, and then he got what he really wanted, a new puppy. Okay, so Oscar was faced with a challenge at the beginning of the story. The challenge at the beginning of the story is he wanted a puppy more than anything in the world, but his mom said there's not a place for the dog to run around. And so what he did is he found a solution to that problem. He went out and got a dog park. So he had to go through many steps. It even says Oscar worked very hard to get that dog park in the park, and so he could have a dog. So Oscar reacted to his challenge, which is what we're talking about. How did Oscar react to his challenge? So that is what our quick write is on today. So on Class Dojo, this is the question you are responding to. What is the main thing Oscar does to respond to his problem? Be sure to look back at the text.